Hey, good morning. This is Dr. Lin Sang. Today I'm going to talk about Project 6, 7, and 8. Hopefully this instruction and guidance will be helpful for your self-paced learning. So Project 6 and 7 and 8 can be found from the web link that I'm about to send you. And I will also upload this video to YouTube. So as you can see here, this is the website of our foundation for CAU. And if you scroll your website to where beneath the optical illusion drawing techniques and pattern videos, and then we see project 5, 6, 7, and 8. So with project 6, you are going to need one white and one black cardstock pieces. If you are having difficulty locating all these supplies, then my minimal requirement is that you locate a piece of white paper and a Sharpie of black color, and you can actually create your work through drawing. The same thing will be applied to 7 and 8. So as you can see that for each project, we have an instructional guidance sheet. So if you click on that one, it will probably lead you into downloading of the PDF file, okay? So this is project 6. Well, there is, however, a mistake in terms of project number. So just ignore that because it used to be project 8. I just switched the order. So project 6 is about figure and ground continued. So we're going to talk about the stability between the positive and negative. If you look in here to the left side, we see the example called aggression and falling. Okay, I want to bring this attention to you that we are actually going to switch the keywords from aggression and falling into pride and humility. So if you check the example, this is actually a half-half design. On the left side, we see 3 angular black shapes on a white background. Can you see this? Yeah, so pretty much 3 kinds of shapes to the left side. And on the other side, however, we see the background has been changed to black. So you can do this through cutting out a rectangular shape, which should be half of 8.5, which is 4 and 2/2, right, and a quarter. And then the height would be 11 still. And after cutting out, you can paste it on top of the original white one or vice versa. So that you will be able to lay out a double colored background. So on each side, you're gonna put the design of the opposite color. So as we read through that, on the right side, the example, the designer has placed are a series of white rectangles on the black background. So what needs attention here is that you are using the viewer's experiences to make conceptual connection about the shapes and how they are either placed or formed for the word falling. Aggression versus falling. And your objectives in this assignment, remember that we're changing this aggression or falling is just our example. So you're going to visually communicate through non-representational shapes the word pride on one side of the project and the word humility on the other. You probably need to experiment with the proximity between shapes and the actual type of shape used. And you need to consciously control black shapes on a white ground on one half of the project and control white shapes on the black ground on the other side. This is a one-part design. However, in that design, you are going to see two backgrounds with two foregrounds. And upon completion, make sure that you can take a nice picture, a photo of your design, and upload to your Google Drive folder. If you have not done so, please log into your Gmail account and click on the link, the first link that you can find on the website, which is right in here. It says class shared server space. And you'll be prompted to go to Art Foundation 1, find or set up your folder in there, and then you can start uploading your file. The same thing will be, same rule will be applied to projects 7 and 8. And we are going to waive the final project for this semester. If you have any more questions, please let me know. Okay, everybody, welcome back. So we are going to talk about Project 7. So it's the same class website link, and locate Project 7 beneath Project 6. And that's a PDF file that you're supposed to download. And here it is. Again, the number was rearranged, so it used to be Project 6. The name is called Shape and Scale, which involves 3 parts. But again, if you cannot locate cardstock paper of black and white, you can still draw your design and send it to me via Google Drive. Project 7 is about a sequence that logically connects 3 pages. The job is to visually communicate a logical progression of shape and scale on 3 separate ground sheets using a relationship between shape and scale. Now I want you to imagine that you are holding a camera and there are some main figures that coming towards you through a long path, a pretty deep path. So because of perspective, we turn to see objects from far away as in the form of very tiny shape, right? That's what you can see in the first part of your design. Something that's pretty small, but it's moving, okay? Or they are moving towards you as a group. And you are holding your camera, you're taking a shot. And sometime later, they keep on walking towards you. And for you, they look like medium-sized. And this is the time that you take the second picture. And the same thing happens, they keep on moving towards you and they become big and big. And some part of the group even get out of the picture frame. So this is where you take your third picture of the objects. So think about this camera view here. Same thing in example B. We see the same logical connection between the 3 pictures. Okay, initially very far away and then getting closer and then closer. So in this series of design, we are actually working on a scale which is defined as the proportion used in determining the relationship of a representation to that which it represents. It is often linked to the illusion of space in two-dimensional design. So how are you going to construct all these shapes, right? Just keep in mind that in each design, you need to present 5 shapes right in here, 5 shapes on each page. You need 1-inch squares, 5 of them on page 1. On page 2, we need 5 2-inch squares. And the third one, 5 4-inch squares. You're going to composite them so they could logically connect together, suggesting that they come from the same group, but it's just because of the time and space change, their mutual relationship and their mutual support, and especially their mutual relationship with you as the viewer have been changed. Now you are encouraged to use the concept of cropping on page 3. Cropping, which became a very popular framing device after the invention of photography in the 19th century, is the experience of believing that part of an object or shape exists beyond the seen rectangle. Again, these are the visual examples. So again, upon completion, please upload your work to your Google Drive folder. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to work on Project 8. Project 8 is named as Pattern Form Texture, which is also available on the class website right in here. So again, you need to download that description sheet. Pattern Form and Texture. It's also named as Pattern Denied with Motif and Pattern. But we have a lot of fashion design students here, or fashion merchandising. So fabric and pattern and texture should be a word that we are already familiar with, right? So if you pay attention to this too, you will notice that number 1, we're using one item consistently and repeatedly, right? So in the first part, you will notice that the reason it's called a denial, pattern denial, is because your job is not to form a pattern with the repeated shape, but through placing the motif to achieve as much variety in the background space. And we don't want to see any pattern in your design. To get the most variety in the background, you utilize a variety of shape placement strategies, which include overlapping, abutting, and cropping. So overlapping, we know what it is, right? Abutting means we are putting 2 items side by side, they're touching. So this is an example of abutting. And cropping. Cropping has been discussed in Project 7 as one of the common techniques used to enlarge your picture frame. And of course, you can rotate. You can think about concatenating them into certain kind of arrangement. Just keep this in mind. You want to deny the pattern. If for some reason you cannot locate the proper supplies for your design, what you can do is create a stencil, and you're going to cover it with the color black. You can paint, you can just right on top, you know, just use a marker to cover it. So the color needs to be black for the letter form. And the background can be anything like a white piece of paper or cardstock paper, which is white. Now in part 2, you are going to use the same letter to form a patterned interval. You could, however, increase the visual interest through the manipulating of the composition's value and texture. What does that mean? It means that you can draw your letter forms and apply different levels of brightness. So you can use different kinds of shades with your pencil. So we could perhaps see a gradation of your change of the value through the design. But that's not a requirement, okay? The most important here is the structured design of your pattern being seen. A good example would be the designer's bag, using like Coach, okay? You remember how the signs or symbols were repeatedly rearranged. Value is determined by the relative lightness or darkness of a surface. Texture is the surface quality of an object or shape. In effect, the pattern will be disguised or camouflaged. So same thing, when you complete your design, upload to Google Drive. I will grade your work on Thursday.